My background in organizational health came about kind of by accident and from an early age. My dad, God rest his soul, was a great salesperson and did a great job for this company. His customers loved him, and he liked his work, but the company he worked for made it difficult for him. Management was really dysfunctional, and I didn't know what that meant. I was 9 years old, and my dad would come home from work and complain about what they were doing. But even as a young kid, I thought, I don't like that. Why should my dad spend 9 hours or 10 hours a day doing something that people frustrate him in when he's generally really good at it and successful? And so as a kid, I got my own jobs, and I started to understand the world of work. And then I got out of college, and I got my first job at a management consulting firm, and it was all focused on helping people be smarter. And I kept thinking, these people are plenty smart, but they're super dysfunctional. And I remember going to a client and spending hundreds of thousands of their dollars trying to fix a marketing problem, when in fact the problem was that the marketing department and the strategic planning department and the executive suite didn't get along, and they didn't agree on anything. And I said to my boss at the time, we should help them with that. And they said, they don't pay us to do that. And really at an early age in my career, I said, I want to do that. And so then I went to work at a number of firms, high-tech companies, and I learned more and more about the dynamics of organizations. And then I thought I was going to go to work for a CEO doing this in a really big company in a high-profile way. And that's when I had this great department that worked for me, and I said, let's start our own company. And then I started writing a book just for fun, and I thought it would never get published, and we were talking about going to Kinko's, which is now the FedEx store, and making copies of it, and then this publisher, who's still my publisher, found it and said they wanted to print it, which we thought was great, and over time it just grew, and our firm grew, and more books came, and what it essentially came down to is we were just describing simple things that we saw that didn't work, that many times people who were too sophisticated were missing. And that's kind of how organizational health came about. It's been a great accident in some ways and a great blessing. And we feel like as the world gets more complex and complicated, returning to these simple truths is more valuable than it's ever been. So that's my story.